Performing at WrestleMania should be one of the defining moments of a pro wrestler's career. However, over the years, a number of wrestlers have admitted publicly that they strongly disliked one of their WrestleMania matches for a specific reason. This can be because certain spots were cut from the match, or it can be because they feel like their performance didn't meet the WrestleMania standard. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who actually hated their WrestleMania match. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts, and if you speak or understand Hindi, our new channel, Wrestlelamia Hindi. Number 10. Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania 25. The two brothers collided at WrestleMania 25 as Jeff and Matt Hardy collided on the grandest stage. The match would be an Extreme Rules match and it was mostly well received, but Jeff Hardy wasn't pleased. Jeff took issue with how many spots had to be cut from the match, and according to Jeff during an appearance on the Broken Skull Sessions podcast, this impacted the overall quality of what Jeff and Matt could deliver. Jeff did state that he did confront Vince McMahon regarding having spots cut from the match, and this was extremely rare for Jeff to confront his boss in this manner. Jeff believes that this earned him respect, mainly because McMahon was aware that his anger was coming from a genuine place. Number 9. The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. WrestleMania 33 was designed to be The Undertaker's farewell match. He was going to put over Roman Reigns in the main event and sail off into the sunset, but the problem was that the match wasn't exactly the quality fans expected from the dead man. The match was awkwardly paced and The Undertaker botched several notable spots. Taker has even spoken at length in relation to his thoughts on the match and has since labelled the match as disgusting. The dead man wasn't happy retiring with a match of such poor quality, and it's hard for anyone to take issue with The Undertaker not wanting this match to be his final time on the grandest stage of WrestleMania. The Undertaker was even so ashamed of the matchup that he apologised to Roman Reigns because he felt so bad for being responsible for such a negatively received match. Number 8. Triple H at WrestleMania 32. A Triple H's showdown with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 32 was heavily panned by fans. It was lackluster at best, and the match failed to have that spark that's needed in a WrestleMania main event. A month after WrestleMania 32, the game was asked for his thoughts on the match by the Mirror UK, and with Triple H being a key part of WWE's management team, he had to be extremely careful in what he said. Triple H clearly had issues with the match, and whilst he didn't outright declare that he loathed the match, he did discuss some of the match's shortcomings. It was a challenging situation on a lot of fronts. Roman is a unique character in the business and a polarizing character, much like a John Cena or somebody like that. He's a polarizing character. You're in front of 100,000 people and you're also coming up at the end of a 6.5 hour plus show. It was long. I was happy with it, but to be honest, I've not watched it back yet. I'm really funny about watching myself back at this point in time of my career. It's hard for me to see the positives sometimes. Number 7. Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 36. WrestleMania 36 was a massive disappointment for several reasons. The main reason was that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, WWE were forced to present their biggest show of the year in front of 0 fans at the Performance Center. Additionally, some of the match outcomes on the two-night event left a lot to be desired. Take for instance when Charlotte Flair defeated Rhea Ripley to win the NXT title. This win was completely pointless and fans were quick to criticize the booking decision. According to Ripley during an appearance on Lillian Garcia's podcast, the match badly impacted her confidence.
It did feel like that though. I definitely have gone through a stage where I did start losing the confidence in myself because I just wasn't portrayed the same way that I was, you know. I started even now I'm still slowly building myself back up from it. My confidence definitely was tainted a little bit, which sucks because I try and keep it up and do my best all the time. I don't know if it was just something inside my head that just wasn't getting the picture, but I don't know, I got a little bit lost after that.
Number 6. Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 32. When WWE announced that Dean Ambrose would be taking on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32, fans were excited. The match would be a no-holds-barred street fight and fans expected a full-on war. Sadly, the match was incredibly lackluster and it failed to meet anyone's standards. According to Ambrose, Lesnar shot down every fun creative idea he had for the match. Lesnar just wanted to do generic things that fans had seen 1,000 times before. The former WWE champion would go on to call Lesnar lazy, which was a bold yet seemingly justified comment. It's clear that Ambrose strongly dislikes the match, and it's a massive shame as it had so much potential to be a WrestleMania classic. Number 5. Mick Foley at WrestleMania 20. One of the top matches on the WrestleMania 20 card saw Mick Foley team with The Rock to take on Evolution. Whilst the match received good reviews from fans, Foley wasn't happy with the match quality and he felt he let the fans down by his performance. Foley would discuss his thoughts on the match on his podcast, and this is what the Hall of Famer had to say.
And I go from being this guy who had been the three-time WWE champion, and I just become somebody who in my mind doesn't belong out there. And it is what it is. If you guys say it was very good, I'll trust you to say it was very good, but I can't bring myself to watch that match. I don't think I've ever seen more than 90 seconds of it at a time.
Number 4. Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. Brock was so unhappy with his WrestleMania 34 match with Roman Reigns that he threw his Universal title at Vince McMahon backstage. Whilst Lesnar's actions may seem drastic, he had justification to be annoyed, as the main event match was truly atrocious. The crowd had no interest in seeing a babyface Reigns versus a villainous Lesnar, and they heavily turned on the match. The fans would chant, "You both suck," and they would randomly chant for other wrestlers. Even when Lesnar and Reigns incorporated blood into the match, it was met with disdain from the audience, and nothing the duo could do was going to influence the crowd's response. Number 3. Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. Shawn Michaels' main event match with John Cena at WrestleMania 23 is an all-time classic, but Mr. WrestleMania himself, HBK, was furious with how the match went. Following the match, HBK walked away without shaking the hand of Cena, and this was an off-script outburst from HBK, who just couldn't bear to shake Cena's hand. HBK's anger came from the fact that Cena had forgot to sell his leg throughout the match, and for HBK, that was the main storytelling element of the main event match. According to Dave Meltzer, when HBK got backstage, he began to scream about how terrible he thought the match was, and this opinion was believed to be shared by fellow WWE officials. Number 2. Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. WrestleMania 14 saw the ascension of Stone Cold Steve Austin to the top of WWE. Austin's match with Shawn Michaels saw Austin pin HBK to win his first WWE title, but Austin has gone on record to state that he hasn't personally been a fan of the matchup. Speaking on the Up Up Down Down's 2K23 livestream, the WWE Hall of Famer revealed, "So to go out there and have a lackluster match with him, and in the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, that was a sold out show and it's a small building compared to nowadays, that was a big deal. When Mike Tyson came in, me and Mike hit it off, and he was over. He brought a lot to it, so it was cool being out there with Mike. Me and Shawn could have had a way better match, but he was in a bad place. He was injured, I was just red hot. When I got the stunner on him, Mike quick counted me. He didn't give me that slow championship pace. But to answer your question, I hated that match. I love Shawn, I have the utmost respect for him, but I don't consider that to be a good match at all." And number 1, The Undertaker at WrestleMania 34. The WrestleMania Dream match between The Undertaker and John Cena finally took place at WrestleMania 34, and going into the match, fans fully expected a lengthy match between the two legends. Unfortunately, what the fans got was a squash match that was under 3 minutes in length. To say that this was disappointing would be an understatement, and the dead man was incredibly disappointed. Taker had trained for a 45-minute war with Cena, and he was stunned to find out that Vince McMahon wanted to book a squash match. Taker would discuss this during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, saying, "I didn't know it was going to be short till I got there that day, so I've trained for a 45-minute war, and alright, here's redemption. I'm going to light this place on fire." I felt good. And Vince calls me into his office and he goes, "Okay," he says, "it's just going to be about 5 minutes, you're going to squash him." I'm like, What? And Vince, he just thought that was the funniest thing, because he knew how hard I'd been training. But there you have it, folks, 10 WWE wrestlers who hated their own WrestleMania match. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.